All right, my friend, let's talk. For weeks now, all signs pointed in one direction when it came to the Cowboys and the upcoming NFL draft offense. Every mock draft, every insider report, and every media conversation seemed to agree. Dallas was going after a weapon, a wide receiver, a running back, maybe even a game-changing hybrid. Names like Marion Hampton, Luther Burden, Matthew Golden, and even Ashton Jeanty were being thrown around like confetti. Experts like Mel Kiper, Dane Brugler, and Todd
McShay were practically lining up to link us to explosive playmakers. And let's be honest, you probably got excited. I did too. The thought of adding another dynamic piece to this offense felt like the perfect move to put pressure off Dak and open up the field. But then, something changed. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the conversation took a sharp left turn. Instead of buzz about elite receivers or home run running backs, reports started emerging about the Cowboys being enamored with an offensive lineman, Josh Simmons, left tackle out of Ohio State. Say what? Where did that come from? And it didn't stop there. Tyler Booker, a strong and aggressive left guard from Alabama, also entered the chat. Out of all weeks, it's draft week, and now these OL names are suddenly in every headline tied to Dallas. You feel that too, right? That hold up, wait a minute kind of vibe? Either this is a legitimate change of heart from the front office, or it's something else entirely. Something that smells like smoke and mirrors. But before we dive any deeper into this draft mystery, do me a solid, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're pushing hard to hit 13,000 subscribers, and your support makes all the difference. Turn on notifications too, so you never miss an update during this crazy draft week. Now let's take a closer look at these two names, Josh Simmons and Tyler Booker. Why are they suddenly front and center in the Cowboys' plans? So let's get into it. You've been hearing these names all week, Josh Simmons and Tyler Booker. But who exactly are these guys? And why would the Cowboys suddenly be locking in on them just days before the draft? Let's start with Josh Simmons, left tackle out of Ohio State. Physically, he's the kind of prospect that turns heads. Standing at 6'6" and tipping the scale around 315 pounds, Simmons has the frame and athletic traits you want in a blindside protector. He's aggressive off the snap, plays with a chip on his shoulder, and moves well laterally, ideal traits for someone expected to handle the league's most explosive edge rushers. But let's be honest here, Simmons isn't a can't-miss guy. He's still raw in some areas. Footwork, pad level, hand placement, those all need polishing. He's got upside, no doubt, but calling him a generational talent might be a bit much. Still, the Cowboys reportedly love his potential, and that alone is enough to shake things up in their war room. Then there's Tyler Booker, the powerful left guard from Alabama. This dude plays nasty. He's strong at the point of attack, doesn't mind getting physical, and has that SEC pedigree that Dallas always seems to value. He's not flashy, but he's dependable, and sometimes that's exactly what you need in the trenches. Here's where it gets even more interesting. If the Cowboys are looking to draft either of these two, what does that mean for players already on the roster? Think about Tyler Guyton, last year's first-rounder. Are they ready to bump him to right tackle or give up on him completely after just one season? And what about Terrence Steele? Is he being quietly phased out after some inconsistencies? This kind of move could create a domino effect across the offensive line. It's not just about Simmons or Booker. It's about reshaping the entire unit. So let me ask you this. Do you think the Cowboys should invest their top pick on the offensive line this year? Or should they stick with the plan and grab another weapon? Drop your answer in the comments using one of these tags. Yes Tool or We Want Weapons. I'll be checking. But now comes the real question. Is all this talk even real? Or are the Cowboys playing the league with one of their classic misdirection moves? Let's talk about that next. All right, now we get to the part that really messes with your head, because here's the truth. This whole situation feels too convenient. You know what I mean? Think about it. For weeks, the entire narrative was that the Cowboys were laser-focused on adding another offensive weapon. We're talking wide receivers like Adonai Mitchell, Ladd McConkey, Luther Burden, even Amari Hampton being mocked to Dallas over and over again by analysts who are usually on point. Then, boom, just days before the draft, out of nowhere, here come the stories about Josh Simmons and Tyler Booker lighting up the Cowboys' radar. So what changed? Is it possible that the front office really had a change of heart this close to draft night? Or is this just classic Cowboys misdirection? Look, you know how this organization works. This isn't their first rodeo. Remember in previous years how they'd let media build up hype around one position only to pull a total curveball on draft day? This could be more of the same. And let's be real, timing is everything. These leaks about OL interest started surfacing exactly when teams start finalizing their own boards and trade plans. It's smokescreen season, my friend. This is the time when GMs play poker with each other, bluffing, baiting, trying to throw others off their scent. Could Jerry and Stephen Jones be floating OL buzz just to keep other teams guessing? And let's not forget how public this info suddenly became. Normally, if Dallas was seriously targeting a guy like Josh Simmons, they'd keep it airtight. No leaks, no buzz, no hint. But now we've got insiders tweeting about it, draft analysts pushing OL content, even former players chiming in. It's almost too loud to be real. So, here's where I need you to jump in. Do you think this is a legit shift in strategy or just classic Cowboys smoke? Vote in the comments. Real move or total bluff? Let's see where the fan base stands. And hey, if you're into this kind of behind-the-scenes draft talk, make sure you've got notifications turned on for this channel. That bell icon, hit it. We're dropping coverage all week, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's talk about what really happens if they do pick an offensive lineman on Thursday night. So let's say it happens. You're watching the draft, the music hits, and Roger Goodell steps up to the mic with that signature pause. Then he says it. With the 24th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Josh Simmons, offensive tackle, Ohio State. What now? First off, let's be clear. Drafting an offensive lineman isn't some disaster. In fact, it can be one of the smartest long-term investments a team can make. Protecting your quarterback? Always a priority. Solidifying the trenches? Absolutely necessary. But that doesn't mean there won't be immediate ripple effects, and maybe even a few disappointments. For starters, this move would signal something major about how the front office views Tyler Guyton. Remember, Guyton was a high pick just last year. Are they already giving up on him at left tackle? Do they see him shifting to right tackle to eventually replace Terrence Steele? Or worse, is Steele now seen as expendable? Adding someone like Josh, Simmons, or Tyler Booker would shake up the depth chart, no question. It would mean more competition in camp, more question marks around positional fits, and possibly a whole new vision for the offensive line. One that prioritizes building a wall around Dak Prescott and focusing on the run game. But here's the thing, and you probably feel this too. What about the weapons? We've all been dreaming about adding a top-tier wide receiver to take pressure off CeeDee Lamb, or a running back with real explosion who could finally replace what we lost when Zeke left. The idea of adding a guy like Ladd McConkey, Xavier Worthy, or even a powerful back like Trey Benson had us all hyped. A first-round OL pick could mean all of that goes out the window. So now I gotta ask you, if Thursday night comes and Dallas drafts an OL instead of a weapon, what's your reaction? Drop it in the comments with "Eyes and trust the Joneses" if you're okay with it. Or "We needed weapons" if you're frustrated. And don't forget, your voice matters here. Every like, every comment, every sub tells us that you're riding with the Cowboys content that really gets into it. So if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and help us reach our goal of 13,000 strong. We're building this community together. Now let's wrap this up with the final question. Are the Cowboys betting on protection or playmakers? All right, partner. We've gone through all the smoke, sifted through the rumors, and looked at what this offensive line chatter could really mean. but now it's time to put it on the table. Here's where I stand. I still believe, deep down, that the Cowboys are going to go for a weapon. All this noise about Josh Simmons, Tyler Booker, and the sudden OL obsession, it feels a little too convenient, a little too perfect in its timing. It smells like misdirection. Classic draft week misdirection. But if I'm wrong, if they really do go O-line in round 1, it won't be the end of the world. Protecting Dak, giving this offense time to work, setting the tone in the trenches. That's not nothing. It just means we might be doubling down on the safe route instead of swinging for the kind of playmaker that could elevate us from good to elite. And here's where I throw it to you. If you had the call in that war room, what are you doing? Drafting protection or grabbing that explosive WR or RB? Drop your dream pick in the comments right now. And while you're there, share this video with a fellow Cowboys fan who's riding the draft. Roller coaster, just like we are. Whether we end up celebrating or venting on Thursday night, you know we're going to be here breaking it all down together. So if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell. You don't want to miss our live reactions, draft night breakdowns, and every twist that comes with being a Cowboys fan. We're almost at 13,000, and every one of you makes this journey real. Let's finish strong. Now tell me, weapons or trenches? What's the move? Cowboy?